doing an episode here tonight for talking about my car, except we're going to do a little change. It's going to be talking about my car club. And I'm here with Larry Miller from the Daytona Street Rod Club. And the Daytona Street Rod Club puts on the Turkey Rod Run every year at the Daytona International Speedway. Probably one of the biggest events on the East Coast. So Larry, how long have you been in this club?
I've worked this show for 38 years.
38 years he's been doing this. Good for you. And so what is your job? What do you do for the...
I'm on the parking crew. Most people might have seen me. Yeah, I do have little battle scars. This definitely gets people's attention. If I tell you to turn this way, turn that way.
So you're on the parking crew?
Yes, the show car parking crew.
All right, excellent. What else do you do?
I also work the nighttime activities. That's why I have these flashing lights on. That we do the car teeter-totter, the go-kart push races, the rod jousting. Hey, I'm just trying to get in the spirit.
So I was there tonight for all the events and filmed some of the events, and it's just an excellent time. It's a good family outing. Everybody's laughing and having a good time and eating hot dogs and telling jokes. It was just a really good time. So good job for the club putting it on.
We try to do the best that we can.
Well, you do get it done. I was there. I saw it. So 38 years. What's your best story?
My best story is...
I mean, did you park Elvis's car or something like that?
No, one of the better people that I had to park was Butch Patrick, who played the part of Eddie Munster on the Munsters. Butch Patrick has his own tribute cars of the Munster coach and Dragula, and he came down 3 years ago and had his cars there set up in the garage. And next to his two cars was also one of the original Green Hornet Black Beauty cars and a replica of the Monkeys Mobile. And I said to the three of them, I said, would you guys like to take those cars out on the track and get a picture at the start-finish line? And Butch said, you can do that? I said, I just got to make one phone call, which I did. And Big Rick Finzer, who's one of the original people that started the turkey run, said, yeah, 1 o'clock Sunday. So we took the four cars out to the start-finish line, got the pictures. I had Butch sign Butch and the people with the other cars. Sign them, and there's a copy of that picture with all four people that own the cars at the NASCAR Hall of Fame up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow.
And I also had Butch from Buzz McKim, who was the director of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, had Butch set his cars up at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and Butch personally got to put his picture in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and he was like, I can't believe this. I've never raced a day in my life, and I'm in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
And he did all that just from visiting the Turkey Rod Run and
just did that.
You taking care of it.
Visiting the turkey run. A second time that he was here, I said, Butch, because he was stuck in the garage area signing autographs all day. I said, Butch, would you like to take the coach out for a ride around through the car show? He goes, I'd love it. He goes, I've been stuck here. Okay. I said, but you got to do me a favor. I said, I got a friend of mine, Dave, with me. I said, you need to take him with you. He goes, Dave, get in, let's go. So I personally escorted him through the car show on my golf cart, honking the horn. People were taking pictures, and we went for about a 45-minute ride. Butch comes back. When we got back to the garage area, he goes, I did not realize this car show was that big. Huge.
How big is the car show?
We do have, well, it's inside of 2.5 miles of paved track. It is, we do have 6,000 cars in there. There's 5,000 plus or minus 100, 200 cars. There's 1,000 cars in the car corral, plus the swap meet, which takes up probably 1/2 of the infield.
And if you had to guess, or what is your best guess for how many people come through there on a regular day, and then what's the total for the show?
Total weekend, I would guess there's probably be 150,000 people over the course of the weekend.
Because it gets pretty crowded there.
Yeah, it gets very crowded. Yes, it does.
And you do the parking for most of this, right?
I do the show car parking part of it, but I also, the intersection I work, I also have to separate the vendors out because, yeah, the intersection I work in the morning, that's where all the vendors, they can't go beyond that to get into the show field. So yeah, I get to send the vendors down. We also have folks with Artisan Alley. They got to go down to the next intersection. But at the same time, all along the Lake Lloyd Road where I work, if you look at the Speedway, there's a big, huge lake there. Well, that's where they put the car corral. And there's cars for sale, both sides of the road, for the whole length of the road. But beyond that, you also have car club parking. So yeah, to try to sort all these cars out, it would blow your mind because no, you just can't. And you have cars coming at you this way, that way.
So, how many people in your club?
There's 55 members. We do have 3 or 4 other clubs that do help us with other things, like some of the car games at door prize drawing every day. And they help us with parking and all that stuff.
Right. So how do you feel this is not exactly the end of the show, but this is coming to your last day?
Yes.
So when do you start preparing for next year, starting on Monday, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we start on Monday, but we also, besides this fall show, the last Saturday in March, we have the spring car show, which that weekend, and it's only probably 3/4 the size of this show, but that weekend we also get to do a lap around the track where all the cars that are registered for the car show get to do a low speed lap around the track, which for the past 20 some years I've been the one that has organized the lap around the track. That I line all the cars up. Once they're ready to go, we get them out on the track.
And so just to be clear, the track that you're talking about is these cars that could go out on the Daytona Speedway, where Fireball Roberts, Cale Yarborough,
Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Neil Bonnet,
all them
Darryl
guys,
Waltrip.
all them guys, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. I rode in it on the track today in one of the shuttle carts, and I was thinking, man, how many people have been here that are just super famous, and I'm riding right down the pit road where they all stopping. So it's really pretty cool. It's an awesome place.
Oh,
and it's
Daytona Speedway. It was originally built by Bill France Sr. back in 1960. Speedway had gone for God knows how many years, and about 5 years ago they completely redid all the grandstands on this. that now they made it into a stadium. This has never been done. So besides motorsports, yes, they've had concerts there. His son, Bill Jr., well, Bill France built the place. And he said, okay, let's go racing here. And back in 1960, the drivers had never seen a speedway of that size. They were kind of terrified of it. You had guys like Marvin Panch, Fireball Roberts, the Pettys, the Yarboroughs. The Waltrips weren't there yet, but these guys were kind of terrified. 2.5 miles on a 31-degree banking. Are you crazy? Yeah, oh well. Since then, Daytona, it's become the world center of racing. Drivers over the years, Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, all these different drivers, they've all achieved, let's win the Daytona 500, let's win the 24 hours of Daytona. There's no other event like the 24 hours except for the 24 hours of Le Mans, which drivers, Mario Andretti, he won the 24 hours of Le Mans. He also won the Indy 500, and he also won the 24 hours of Daytona and the Indy 500. That's a lot of history. So yeah, you have your crown jewels in racing, and Daytona is one of them.
So tell me about the history of the Turkey Rod Run.
History of the Turkey Run. That's a very interesting thing. We started this car show, well, it started because there was this gas light parade with antique cars up in Ormond Beach, which is just north of here. And one of the people, one of the original members of the club, he had a 23 T-bucket, a hot rod. He wanted to get into the gaslight parade. He went up there, got in line for it, and when he got there, they told him, no, you can't be in here because you're a hot rod. So they turned him away. Well, his 7-year-old son, Jimmy, he said, Dad, I think we need to start our own parade next year for hot rods. And Stu Sargent and a couple other people, Big Rick, Olin Hopes, all got together, said, okay, let's start our own. Well, then they did that the next year.
What year was that, do you know?
That would have been 1974. They said, okay, let's start our own car show, which they did at Bel Air Plaza over at the La Playa Hotel. And okay, the first car show, they had 46 cars showed up. Okay.
Wait a minute now. The first car show.
The very first turkey run.
46 cars.
46 cars. I know that for a fact because I've heard it from Stu, Olin, and Big Rick.
All original members of the Daytona Street Rod.
Which they are still members of the Daytona
I met
Beach
Big
Street
Rick
Rod.
tonight.
Yes. And then, okay, it kind of grew and grew. Well, we kind of overgrew Bel Air Plaza. So we kind of moved, Seabreeze High School is right next to there. We moved to there. Okay, we were there a couple years, and they started adding a swap meet. Well, that's about the same time that I joined, is when they added the swap meet. So we had the Host Hotel across from Bel Air Plaza, so all the nighttime activities would go on there. We had the car show there. Well, we kind of grew too big for Bel Air Plaza, for the Seabreeze High School, and for the La Playa. So we were searching for more property to put this car show on. When Embry-Riddle, where it is, which is a aeronautical university here in Daytona, which they're adjacent to the Speedway, or not, well, to the Speedway and the airport, we somehow ended up getting in on their property. So for 3 or 4 years, we went into Embry-Riddle and put the car show on. We had car show on one side of the street, swap meet on the other. Well, then finally, the history of the Speedway is there's a racing and recreation facilities district.
I'm sorry, say that one more time for me.
There is, the landlords of the Speedway is the Racing and Recreation Facilities District. They are the landlords. They hold the lease to the property. The Speedway does not own the property. We had asked for a bunch of years about putting a car show on in the Speedway. Fran's family said no. Well, the Racing and Recreation Facilities District came to us and asked, hey, would you guys like to put a car show on in the Speedway? We're like, huh, what? Yeah. We'll let you do it. Because the Racing and Recreation Facilities District, the lease that they have is 90 days out of the year that the Speedway does not use the property. They can do what they want on the property. So we said, sure. What's this going to cost us? I said, nothing. You come put your car show on in the Speedway. First year we were in the Speedway, show car parking, we only filled up about a quarter of that infield, and the swap meet was only a quarter of that. So we were 400 cars and 300 vendors. Okay, we're good with that.
What year was that?
That was 32 years ago. I did check that with Big Rick this morning. He said, yeah, we've been in here 32 years now.
So we went from a 48 car show, now we're up to 400 inside the
Speedway to where it is now. We're at
4,000 to 6,000 cars. Somewhere in there.
5,000 show cars and another 1,000 cars for the car corral.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of boggles our mind that, yeah, we've had so few people work this, and it's such a giant place.
Seems to come off pretty easy. From the outside. I'm not saying it's easy.
Right.
Putting together, because this is no longer just a car show and a car club having a show. This is now an enterprise.
Mm-hmm. No, it's an event.
An event, okay.
It's an event.
Yeah, all right. Well, and so one of the things I've noticed about this is, because I've been coming here for about 20 years,
Yes.
Not regularly, but both shows. I was down last year for both shows. I'll probably be back in March. I see that there's a lot of community involvement.
Yes, there is. Every year we do raffle off a car. Tickets are $2 a piece or 3 for $5, and all the proceeds for that raffle car go to different charities. We are a nonprofit organization, and for the 50th anniversary, we've already started building a new car. If you look at the logo of the Daytona Beach Street Rod, I don't have one here. It is a 32 Ford Highboy Roadster. All the vendors from the swap meet have donated all the different parts. We had a vendor donated just the bare chassis for a 32 Ford. We've had vendors donate the engine, the transmission, the steering, the suspension, the wheels, the tires, everything that you need. We even had Brooksville Roadsters, which is a company that builds steel bodies. They have donated.
And so I have heard a figure mentioned that your club is trying to get together for the 50th anniversary, a dollar figure for donation or total.
Right now, over the years, all the different charities that we've donated to, we've donated over $800,000. For the 50th anniversary, we're trying to get to $1 million, which I think we will meet.
Okay, so if you're out there on YouTube and you're watching this, Daytona Street Rod, who have the turkey rod run twice a year, is trying to get to $1 million. Come to Daytona, come to the turkey rod run. It's an event, car event that you will never forget. And there's a great bunch of people that put this on, like this gentleman sitting here. Congratulations. What's your closing thoughts here? What's the future look like for the
It can
turkey run?
only get better. It's with the thanks to everybody that comes down here. Over the years, I've met so many people, so many friends that I see them. They're always welcome back here.